Hi guys, Jay Smith here, down at Bray Golf Range in Suffolk. Welcome to a glorious summer morning. The sun is shining right in my eyes. And today we are having a play with the G400 iron, the new one from Ping. They generally run two sets of G irons concurrently. So when the G30 was out, they brought out the new G, but they kept the G30. And no different with this one. At the moment they've got the G400, but they will still run the G from previous. That's the one good thing with Ping. They don't just stop the old model and go straight to a new one. They still run other ones concurrently as well. So anyway, the new tech in the new head. 17.4 stainless steel. So for you metallurgists out there, you'll know exactly what that is. For everybody else, it's stainless steel and it won't rust. It's got quite a thick top line, although when you look at the top line, because of the way it's chamfered on the top and the front and the back, it's sort of curved, which means when you put it down by the ball, even though it is a fairly thick top line, you can't really see it, which is quite interesting. Now, generally when you've got a thick top line, it's for amateurs, game improvement sector that like to see chunky, helpful, confidence-inspiring clubs. And it's kind of, I like it because I quite like thinner looking top line clubs, but I'm not quite sure how other people would perceive it. So it'd be interesting to see what people say. When it comes to the finish, it's like this satin chrome, but it's so slippery. Now, they're saying that it's 40% less friction. I think they were saying about the fact that it helps glide through the rough. Whether that actually helps or not, you'll have to test yourself, but it is actually quite slippery. But I quite like the fact that it's satin and not necessarily chrome. I do like chrome, yes I do, but I'm quite partial to this finish as well. So, big deep sole, big undercut cavity. It's got that classic little round inverted cone that they had first. I think it was on the G. I think it was on the G, wasn't it, the first time or the G Max, and that made it sound like when you were hitting an iron, it sounded literally like a hybrid, and it had that classic ping off the face, that like tinginess, which was a bit off-putting sometimes when you're using an iron. Fine when you're using a hybrid, but it sounded strange coming from an iron. What they've done though with this rubbery kind of insert, it sounds really strange. When you rub it, it sounds, I don't know if the microphone can pick this up. It sounds so thin, it's like paper. Obviously it's not, it's metal, because if not the ball would go straight through, and not a very useful golf club. But it's there to dampen sound, etc. But what they have got in the undercut cavity part, they've got this little tuning port. When they're doing the custom fitting, so when you go for Ping for a custom fit, what you can do is you can obviously select all different types of whatever you want, shaft, grips, heads, everything else. And then you've got a choice of, if you wanted to, you can mess about with the swing weight, or if the swing weight changed because you're having different lengths of shafts, etc. That's what they use this little glued in bit down the bottom. It's to change what swing weight you can have. So obviously if they put in a weight there which is heavier or lighter, it changes the swing weight. So they can keep the swing weight the same regardless of what you do with the length of club, which is quite cool. When you actually put it down by the ball, the blade length isn't too big. By no stretch. There are some game improvement clubs out there which are massive, and this thing is actually not too bad at all. I'd be quite happy to look at something like this. It's got a little bit of offset, yes it is. This is a 7 iron, 30 degrees of loft, so it is a strong 7 iron. It's a 6, but it says 7. But it actually doesn't look too bad at all. The offset, for me, it's quite a large amount of offset, but as game improvement clubs go, there are a lot more clubs in the market with a lot more offset than this. I actually quite like the look of it. I've got it in the Project X 6.0 shaft. But what we're going to do, we're going to give it a hit, see how it feels off the face. Caught that one middle, out the bottom. It flew nice and straight, but a little bit low because I caught it one groove low. But considering how I caught it, it didn't feel too bad. It gave me the feedback to know I knew exactly where I hit it. But it wasn't, I wouldn't have liked to hit that shot necessarily in a blade. There we go, straight out the middle, flying lovely. GC2 says 0.6 degree left, 0.5 tilt axis to the left, 169. Yeah, so that was a decent hit, and it felt quite nice. This is a game improvement cast club, remember guys, so it's not going to feel buttery smooth and soft like some of these forged offerings out there, but considering it's a game improvement cast club, it felt quite nice. Let's give it another one. I actually quite enjoyed that middle one. Now that was vertically perfect, but slightly toey. Hit the 200 yard sign. Obviously it's not 200 yards from here, it's 200 yards from the bottom range, but what was that? Oh, go GC2 168. So within a yard of the last time. I quite enjoy hitting this. I get good height from it. I can't really complain too much about this club at all. And I'm not really someone who enjoys game improvement clubs. That's another one. Yes, you do get that funny sound that G's used to get, but it's not that same kind of ting like a wood. It's more of a click. It's very hard to describe a sound, because sounds, you ask 10 different people, they give you 10 different descriptions of what a sound sounds like, no different to feel. One more, and then we're going to do some real ball testing. Slightly low, slightly heely. I'm being very picky. That's quite close to target as well, but right, I'm quite impressed with this iron so far, and I'm not someone who enjoys hitting game improvement irons generally. So what we're going to do, we're going to go get this, hit it on GC2 with my Game Ball Vice Pro, and let's see how this thing compares up to a real premium ball and how it performs. Right guys, numbers time for the G400 7 iron. 30 degrees of loft, remember, so we're going to say this over and over again. I'm not a great fan of manufacturers just cranking lofts and calling it a different number. At the end of the day, the club has got to be honest to its loft, not necessarily its number. So that's why I focus a lot on loft, not necessarily number. So this is a 7, but 30 degrees of loft. Now, looking at the ball speed, on average, it's 121. Now, I've hit 10 shots, and I range from 119 to 123. So fairly decent when it comes to strikes. I range in launch, I've got 18.7 on average, but I range from 20.2 down to 16.1. So 16.1 when I hit it a little bit out the bottom. As you can see there, it went up to 5.9 spins, so they generally spin a little bit more when you hit them a little bit out the bottom, but generally wasn't too bad. This performs very well. It does. This performs exactly what I want a 30 degree club to do. It performs exactly how I want it to, but it goes a fraction higher because of the amount of weight and bits and pieces you've got just pushed right down at the bottom of the club to like lower the center of gravity of the club, and that's just physics. So, and it works very, very well. It's a 7 iron, so if you were to go for a 7 from the old school way of saying 1,000 RPM per club, so like 7 iron, 7,000 RPM, this will not fit into that guide at all, because it is a 7 iron, but it's not a traditional 7 iron loft by no stretch of the imagination. This is like 5 degrees stronger than my 7 iron, so it's not going to be anywhere near what we'd expect from a 7 iron. So it's only spinning at 5.427 on average, so 5.4 from a 7 isn't a lot at all. Now, if you were to say change that to a 6 iron, as in the case of you just scrubbed the number out and wrote 6 on it, so it's more of a traditional 6 iron loft, then 5,500 spin is actually not bad. So you can see here, it's just, don't focus much on the number, it's the loft that we're doing, but it's spinning quite well for that lofted iron. I had little pulls today, little tiny pulls, so they were going a little bit left, but generally look at 34.7 on peak height is very healthy indeed, and also 47.4 descent angle. 47 beyond 45 degrees with 5,500 spin, that will stop the other end, and it's going on average 173, with my shortest going 170 and my longest going 176 177 once. Yep, 177. So that's not bad whatsoever, dispersion, and you're going to get that consistency as such from that game improvement head, because you can move a little bit on the face and still get that efficiency that you don't quite get from a player's iron, because player's irons are a lot more specific on strike. But I did move a little bit. Obviously, if we look at my furthest left was 15.4 left. That was a bit of a left. That was, as soon as I hit that, I thought, yeah, that's left. But generally, 1.5, 7.2, 2.6, 5.4, 2.5, 1.3, I'm darting in and around the target end. And if we look at the flights, you can see my ones which go a little bit to the left-hand side, but basically within reason, they're pretty good at target. And you're going sort of like 170 odd yards down there. So to be fair, I would take that all day long. It's not the kind of the club that I would initially go for just because of the size, but once you hit it, it feels perfectly fine for a game improvement club. It's probably one of the nicest game improvement clubs feeling, and to be fair, performing clubs out there that I've tested. So it's well worth giving these a go. Well worth giving these a go, because they try and blend the game improvement, the functions of a game improvement iron, but then still gain a certain amount of feel, still try and make it sound half decent. It gives you a half decent feedback when you hit it off the face, so it's actually performing quite well. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, click the like button below. Comment below what you would like to see the video up against another iron, or any comment about the G400 irons themselves. Please remember to click the old subscribe button by the side of me, because it helps the channel out, allows me to keep on making reviews and different videos like that, and we'll see you again soon.